ancient civilization, contemporary with ancient and great civilizations such as Sumerian and Egyptian. Its origin and end are disputed and obscure. The prosperous culture of the Indus Valley was contemporary with the great civilizations of Mesopotamia and Egypt, and its economic, technological, and cultural development is comparable to that of these older civilizations. Its origin and end are disputed and obscure, something that undoubtedly contributes to the fact that its writing has not been deciphered. This powerful civilization, which founded the first cities of the Indian subcontinent, probably arose from the evolution of farming communities established during the Neolithic period along the Indus River and its tributaries. Thus, Harappa, which around 3500 BC was a small village along the Ravi River, evolved 1,000 years later into a great city extending over 150 hectares. This change may have been influenced by relations with the urban world of the Sumerians in Mesopotamia, or perhaps simply by trade with this area, which led to an economic development that made cities necessary as centers of production and exchange. These relations may also have provided a model of organization and perhaps the construction techniques, which in both the Indus and Mesopotamia relied on the use of mud brick. Whatever its origin, it is certain that between 2600 and 1700 BC, a technically advanced civilization flourished in the Indus Valley based on large cities that constituted the centers of a vast territory. The Indus cities appear to have been centers of defense and administration, and of control and organization of trade and artisanal production. Perhaps we should consider a complex organization with large cities controlling smaller ones. We know of 5 metropolises, including Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, the largest and the first to be excavated since 1921. We also know of another 100 smaller cities spread along the Indus and the now dry Saraswati River basin. This urban civilization is full of enigmas for archaeologists. The cities, built with baked bricks of standard sizes, enjoyed great urban planning advances. Their streets were paved, they had a complex sewage system, and they had wells, both public and private, that provided water to their inhabitants. The most surprising and characteristic aspect of the Indus cities is that they were built according to a very precise urban plan. They usually have a citadel, frequently surrounded by a walled enclosure, which may have defensive functions, but which also, as in Harappa, serves as a defense against flooding from the river next to which they are built. The largest buildings, undoubtedly for public use, are found in these citadels. No large temples or buildings that could be interpreted as palaces have been identified, but in the citadel of Mohenjo-Daro, a building consisting of a large pool surrounded by small enclosures, apparently used as changing rooms, has been found, reminiscent of the baths that are still part of many Hindu temples. This structure, known as the Great Bath, was found to be a religious-type enclosure intended for rituals in which the aspect of purification, with which water is closely linked, would be of great importance. Hence, there is talk of the influence of the Indus culture on the introduction of this type of ritual into later Hinduism. However, the temple attached to this structure has not been found. Perhaps he is buried beneath the Buddhist monument built over the ancient citadel, the stupa, whose existence has not allowed excavations to be completed. Outside the citadel walls, buildings are grouped neatly into enclosures dedicated to different uses. The residential neighborhoods are organized into streets laid out in rows, arranged in large blocks, all equipped with a common well and a sewer system. Each area of the city was designated for a specific type of activity, with specialized neighborhoods housing the workshops of ceramists, weavers, seal carvers, and so on. Their inhabitants undoubtedly enjoyed a certain level of social status, stability, and well-being, and the main streets appear to have been lined with shops. There are no disordered neighborhoods, which suggests that the cities were governed by a centralized government that was concerned, at the very least, with urban planning and the maintenance of infrastructure such as sewers. This authority, whose details are unknown, probably controlled residents in the cities, where not just anyone could settle. The farmers who provided their livelihood had to live in small towns scattered throughout the territory. In the outermost part of cities, generally near the river, are large warehouses and granaries built in orderly rows, divided into several chambers, and with a good ventilation system. These were likely to be used to store food, products destined for trade, and goods imported from other cities along the Indus or from Sumeria. Harappan outposts along the Makran coast, between present-day Iran and Pakistan, and on the land border of modern Iran, indicate active trade with Mesopotamia, especially vigorous during the reign of Sargon of Akkad. Thanks to Indus seals found during excavations at the Sumerian city of Ur in Mesopotamia, we know that merchants from Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro traded with their Sumerian counterparts between 2300 and 2000 BC. Surplus grain, especially wheat and perhaps textiles, were exported from the Indus. Archaeological evidence of the first cotton spinning in Mohenjo-Daro dates from this period, but we do not know if this product was part of the exports to Sumer. Most of the goods must have been small luxury items, such as engraved carnelian beads, inlaid shell and bone objects, ivory combs, and probably goods that 1,000 years later King Solomon imported from India, according to the Bible: peacock feathers and monkeys, pearls, precious wood carvings, and luxury goods imported from both southern and northern India were also likely sent to Sumer, as there are jadeite objects and beads from Tibet. One of the great mysteries of this civilization is its form of government. The urban planning and standardization of buildings suggest the existence of a strong centralized government, but the only support for the proposal of a government similar to that of Mesopotamia, exercised by a priest-king, is a clay statuette depicting a bearded male figure with a majestic expression and adorned with head and arms. No buildings that could be interpreted as palaces or large temples have been found, and in the Harappan cemeteries, the only ones found to date, there is no evidence of a ruling elite whose tombs are richer than those of the common people. Another great mystery is that of religion. The abundance of small ceramic figurines depicting primarily male animals of all kinds, but especially bulls, phallic symbols, linga, and female figures with prominent sexual organs are considered evidence of a religion that worshipped fertility, embodied on the one hand in a masculine principle and on the other in the veneration of a mother goddess. One of the best-known seals from Mohenjo-Daro depicts a male figure, perhaps a god, with an erect phallus, seated in the lotus position and wearing a headdress of water buffalo horns surrounded by male animals: a tiger, an elephant, a rhinoceros, a water buffalo, and a ram. He appears to have two faces, or a tiger mask, and covers his torso with a tiger skin. He is clearly a lord of beasts, a power that subdues nature. This image has been identified with Shiva and has led to the belief that the Indus culture introduced asceticism and yoga into the Vedic religion brought by the Aryans, who invaded India around 1200 BC. Although attractive, such a hypothesis is mere speculation, since both this type of lord of beasts and phallic symbols are found in the Indo-Europeans, ancestors of the Aryans, and in Central Asian and Near Eastern cultures contemporary with the Indus Valley. All this could be clarified if we were able to decipher the Indus script, which we find in stone inscriptions and, above all, in the seals characteristic of this culture. The abrupt end of the urban civilization of the Indus Valley was not the result of war or invasion, but most likely the conjunction of a series of natural disasters and a change in climatic conditions. Around 1700 BC, tectonic movements in Mohenjo-Daro caused a change in the course of the Indus River, fires and floods, and a hasty flight from the city. These disasters, combined with the intense deforestation of the territory for agricultural purposes and to obtain firewood for firing bricks, must have caused a drastic reduction in population and resources, and with it the trade that supported the large cities, which gradually became depopulated. From 2000 BC onwards, a decline in this culture is detected. Many smaller settlements along the Indus River were abandoned, but not destroyed, and new, smaller and more modest ones appeared to the southeast. By the time the Aryans entered the Indus Valley, the large cities had fallen into ruin and ceased to exist.